Increasingly now in Europe, in the United States, and other countries, governments are moving to criminalize opposition to apartheid Israel and also international solidarity action with Palestine through PDS. They are choosing to protect and defend one of the most racist states in the world, and indeed the only apartheid state in the world. They are accusing as anti-Semitic those who rightly condemn this violent and criminal state. What governments should be doing, and it is their duty under international law and UN conventions to do, is to take action to end Israel's crimes against Palestinians. That is, sanctions against Israel, not selling weapons to Israel, not business as usual with Israel, not censorship of free speech, and not malicious accusations of anti-Semitism. Germany has gone down this shameful path. Its parliament voted in May 2019 to label BDS as anti-Semitic. Did it believe that BDS action against apartheid South Africa was also racist? This is an outrageous falsehood, as the BDS demands are clearly about justice, equality, and democracy. This is nothing but an attempt to censor free speech to Israel, on Israel. And the persecution of Khalid Barakat, a Palestinian writer and activist, who was firstly barred from speaking about Palestine publicly and has now been banned from entering Germany for 4 years. German authorities believe that talk of liberating Palestine, or that Israel has no right to exist, is anti-Semitic. Clearly, Israel does not have the right to exist as an apartheid state. That is a crime against humanity for which Israel should be prosecuted. And now the German state is prosecuting the Humboldt 3, Roni Barakat, Stavit Sinai, who are both Jewish Israeli, and Majid Abu Salame, who is Palestinian. They are charged with assault and trespassing when they interrupted a speech at Humboldt Uni by Aliza Lavie, a member of the Israeli Knesset, and challenged her over her responsibility as a government minister for war crimes and crimes against humanity when Israel waged war on Gaza for 51 days in 2014. There are no assault and no trespassing. This was and is a political trial. The trial in 2019 ended without a verdict, and they now face a retrial which begins today in Berlin. Best to hear RB's own words from when he was in court last year. I stand here today with a sense of pride. Not the pride of vanity, but pride in knowing that what I did was fundamentally right and done for the greater good. I also stand here today as the accuser, not the accused. If there is any wrongdoing on my past, then it is of not doing enough to end the grave crimes that the State of Israel is responsible for. The accused today, Your Honor, are the criminal state of Israel and its accomplices, who will be mentioned in this courtroom for aiding and abetting in Israeli crimes against humanity. If the State of Israel is indeed an apartheid state, then everyone in this room would have the moral and possibly the legal obligation to oppose such grave crimes which are carried out on a daily and hourly basis. This is exactly why the the Nuremberg Principles have been drafted to urge people like us into action. When apartheid representative member of Knesset Aliza Lavie arrived at Humboldt University, she arrived on an explicit mission to go after the BDS campaign that challenges Israeli criminal policies which Lavie tries hard to protect and promote. Lavie is not only chair of the anti-BDS lobby in the parliament, she was also a member of the Defense and Foreign Affairs Committee, which decided and oversaw the massacre of 2,200 people in Gaza in July 2014, including the murder of 551 babies and children. Ironically, she was also the head of mission to the European Council, where she appeared on several occasions in order to defend Israeli violations. From defending the systematic mass incarceration and torture of Palestinian children to defending the massacre of unarmed demonstrations along the fence of Gaza ghetto. Demonstrators whose simple and basic demand is to go back to their homes. When I confronted Lavie at Humboldt University, I did not only oppose her criminal presence there, but also went above and beyond to explain the UN report which I was holding in my hand, trying to educate her on her own crimes. As I was leaving, I actually handed her the report and asked her to read it. So the fact that we are standing here today only comes to show that she has yet to read the report and has yet to express remorse for her actions. We also know that she has yet to be put on trial. That is until today, since this court is in a position to change all of that. I therefore expect Your Honour to take the legal considerations surrounding the crime of apartheid seriously. Because after all, where, if not in Berlin, should I be able to speak up against the clearest expressions of human depravity? Where, if not in Berlin, should we be able to stand up to a barbaric system that differentiates between the Übermenschen and the Untermenschen, based on racial and ethnic characteristics? Where, if not in Berlin, as a grandson of those survivors who only needed the world to speak up, should we voice out loud our message that we will not be silent and call on others to never be silent again? And if this court will choose to look the other way, I would like to remind it that I have a track record of disrupting official apartheid representatives, and that there is no suitable punishment that will stop me from doing so in the future, until Israeli crimes against humanity had been abolished. That would be my legacy in that case. Thank you.
Free Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!